Hi, I'm Eric Lanask. We're here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at ITEXPO 2016. On the program with me now from LogiSense is Flavio Gomes. Flavio, great to have you with us again.
Hi, Eric. Good to see you.
So what's going on in the world of billing?
Well, it's been exciting for us. I mean, for your viewers, we are software developers of agile usage rating and subscription billing. We focus largely on the UCaaS, or Unified Communications Marketplace, and IoT. We've been doing actually really well in the IoT. But there's this new movement that's happening within our markets, and that we've kind of termed the usage economy. And essentially what we're seeing and the feedback that we're getting is that consumers and end users are essentially tired of paying for very rigid sort of billing subscription models. And what we're trying to accomplish is to kind of create that balance between a vendor of digitized services, whether that's UCaaS or IoT, and consumers with a personalized pricing model that makes it easier for them to bridge the gap between monetization priorities. And so the core strength of our platform is the usage rating, essentially. And what that does is it enables us to really create granular pricing models that's based on consumption, not just flat rate tiers.
What are the challenges? I mean, certainly it's much more complex to have to deal with usage-based billing.
Sure. I'm oversimplifying it in many respects, but there's a number of different elements that you need to consider. One is mediation, and really what mediation is gathering usage records and massaging that information and data to make it billable, essentially. The other is when you've got a B2B environment, there's a number of different complexities when it comes to pooling and bundling and discounting of services, particularly when end users consume a variety of services in a bundle. So all that complexity gets managed on our platform. And it's not easy to do. We've cut our teeth over 15 years of doing this work, and we've solved some of the most challenging usage rating problems in the telco space, particularly in the UCaaS space. What we're finding now in the IoT marketplace is that they're experiencing some of the same challenges. And a unique scenario with IoT providers is that the vast majority of their customers have very unique needs. One customer is not the same as anyone else. And so you need to really have a flexible, agile billing platform, monetization platform, and a product catalog and pricing strategy to take advantage of those opportunities. Back to the notion of consumers paying, or the end users paying for what they want to use. So oftentimes the systems can't really handle very granular personalized pricing models. And so what you have is you've got these tiered, maybe 1 or 2, 3 tiers, but they're very rigid, right?
Sure.
And so you're alienating a number of consumers, I would say, or end users that would say, you know what, those models don't really fit. So what happens? Your sales guy goes out there and sells it anyways. Hands it back to finance, and finance got to figure out how to solve this problem with billing, right? So it adds a lot of complexity and work and stress and pain on the billing and finance department when you got these sales guys that will sell what they think is a valuable deal to the business, even though it doesn't fit neatly in all those tiers. With our platform, we enable that flexibility and creativity to create really personalized, really granular pricing models that matches the needs of the end user, because they're going to pay for what they use. And oftentimes there's a baseline flat subscription fee on a month-to-month basis, and they pay for overages on usage side of things. But it really matches the services to their needs in a much more applicable way.
So as far as the granularity goes, can you go as deep?
Real time, right to the millisecond, or API, or any sort of triggered event, essentially. Any triggered event that we can pull off of any back office system that the enterprise is using, the IoT or the UCaaS enterprise is using. In the case of UCaaS, it's normally switches or session border controllers, et cetera, or any of the applications that provide logs or any form of data. We call that a usage detail record. In the IoT space, very, very similar things. Anytime that we can mediate and pull usage from all the different elements on the back office, those are the elements that we use for billing.
How big of an opportunity is IoT for you?
Well, it's a nascent marketplace, and I mean, some folks think that it's a little overhyped. At this day and age, but I think it's absolutely gargantuan. I mean, you can see it logically. It makes total sense. Everything's going to get connected. And I think the consumer side of it's really sexy. Everyone thinks that's the most exciting component of it. But the reality is B2B transactions on IoT comprise about 80% of the traffic that's flowing through those networks.
Right.
So I think it has enormous potential. And I think as a result of the large volume of traffic and the volume of devices, the value of each event is much smaller. So it's more like a micro payment environment or a micro transaction environment where you have huge volumes of transactions, but really low value or margin on each one of those. So you have to really have a platform, a monetization strategy, a monetization platform that is very accurate, very precise, so you don't leak revenue as part of your operations. We find it fascinating, and I think if you're going to ask me the next question, which will be, where are we going as a business? There's an enormous amount of data. There's an enormous amount of data that's being driven from usage-based processes and mediation processes. And there's actionable intelligence hidden in that data. So as part of our organization, we're thinking about those things, greater business intelligence, the analytics. I don't really want to use the word big data, but that type of environment is ripe for creating, some predictive and prescriptive analytics components where you can really strive to kind of remove the tactical decision making within an organization as the systems kind of figure out how consumers and end users use their services.
Gotcha.
So the great thing about what we've done is our product. I'm sorry, I'm not allowing you to ask any questions. I've got this scripted.
That's all right.
We've won a lot of business in the IoT space. We've got Numerex, which is a well-known brand. They've been great. We worked really hard with them with creating a very responsive, agile, scalable solution that solves a lot of their monetization and pricing challenges. And we're attracting a lot more. And Genu is another company out of the West Coast. They've got a lot of tie-in to Verizon. We landed a deal with them. And there's a number of other IoT-based platform providers that we'll be announcing in the next couple of months. But we're also doing well in the UCaaS, because UCaaS is our bread and butter. That's where we've learned all the challenges, where we've accumulated all our scar tissue, so to speak, when it comes to handling some of those biggest challenges in the marketplace.
Awesome. Hey, Flavio, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Certainly sounds like you guys have some exciting things going on, and agree, both the UCaaS and the IoT markets,
Thank you.
Huge opportunity. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great week.
Thanks, Eric.